Okay, Charlie, I'm back. I left the last video without doing a couple of problems, and I think that's wrong because it's always nice to work on something. And nowadays, I'm noticing a lot more math students are the emphasis is more on reading and gathering material from a text and that sort of information, and then doing the math, and then so you understand the application of the mathematics, and that's a good thing to know too. So in this case, what I said was, how do I write this in a test format that you might see? So here it is. The question is, what percentage of 12 is 4? What percentage of 12 is 4? Incidentally, I have some tips and tricks for doing any sorts of tests, timed and or some sort of memory tactics that I've learned over time and throughout my adult years. If you like them, you know, hit me up and maybe I'll do a different one or something. But here we are. What percentage of 12 is 4? What percentage of 12 is 4? Right off the bat, you have to wrap that in your head is, what percentage of 12 is 4? How many is 4 of 12 as a percent? So of 12 tends to be the group of things that you're taking something from. So I'm asking, if you have 4 of those 12 things, what percentage of that is that 4 to the whole group? And I know that's a little bit wordy, but you'll see it as I go through it. So what percentage of 12 is the key, of how many is 4? They're asking, what's 4 12ths as a percent? That's it. And once you get that one down, then you got it all made. In your brain, what percent of 12 is 4? What percent of the classroom is female? Well, you need to know how many were in the whole classroom and then how many females you have. What percent of the sky is blue today? Well, that's a little bit harder, right? But you know, what percent of the group of 12 is 4? That's all it is. So once you have the fraction down, well, right off the bat, you should know that I've kind of made it so that you got to do a little work here. Now, you can find this decimal 2 different ways. I prefer the easy way. If you want to divide 12 into 4, that's up to you. Now, you're already thinking, well, a 2-digit number into 4, that's not going. We got to have a 40. 12 into 40, that's 3 times is 36. This might not be so bad, but what I would do is reduce the fraction down to make it as easy for you as possible. I know right off the bat by looking at both numbers, 2 can go in the bottom and top. Easy. They're both even. So I could divide this by 2 and this by 2 and come out with 2/6. But I would still end up in the same problem because I could divide that by 2 and then that by 2 again. And when you're in a pinch and you don't know and you don't recognize the biggest number you can divide, do it and you'll eventually get there. I'm saying 4 can go into the top number once and 4 can go into the bottom number 3 times. So 4 over 12 is the same as 1/3. Now I want to know what that is in a decimal so I can multiply it by 100 to get a percentage. Well, 1/3, as everybody knows, is 33 1/3%. And everybody knows that it's 0.3333 repeated. The same as everybody knows 1 over 4 is 25% or 0.25. Not everybody knew that last one, 7 over 8, right? But in this case, we know that what we're getting there. So let's just prove it. How would we get this number, this decimal number, if we didn't have any of that and we didn't have prior knowledge? Or if this number was something crazy? Simple. How did we do it before? Divide 3 into 1. That's insane. It can't be done. It's not possible. That 3 doesn't, I know it doesn't. That's the point. We bring down, put in a decimal, and we put in a 0. 3 can go into 10, can it? Sure, 3 times. Put 3 up here, bring down 9. There's our 1. And we bring down another 0. And 3 goes into that 3 times. And then that'll be a 9. And then we'll subtract it and we'll get another 1. And we'll bring down another 0. And I know that you've already noticed the pattern. 3 is 9. And it just ends up being 3 forever, which is what we already said it was. Anyway, that was just a little demo of how sometimes the problems can be wordy a little bit. If you'd like any more, then just let me know. Hope you enjoyed it.